I went into junior college. I didn't know what the hell I wanted to do.
I sucked at math.
We said, you know what? We're going to chase our dreams.
I told myself, look, if I don't make it, I'm joining the military.
We both said that.
I got an internship at Disney. I asked around. I'm trying to be a producer. I can honestly say I love what I do. I got nominated for a COLA award.
We have this really big opportunity for you to intern with Google. Google got a Clio award last year. God can really send people in your life to like show up and to help you. All that to say, I love what I do.
Being in this industry isn't easy. Don't give up. I don't think I would have ever gotten as far as I did without the support of my family and my sister. Yeah. Sister to Sister.
Welcome back.
This is your hosts, KENDRA
and KEIYANA.
And in this episode, we are going to talk all about careers. What we do and how we got there. The film industry has so many moving parts and so many people involved in just making a movie in general. But before we go there, I think that we should talk about how we got there and what ignited our passion in it.
Yeah.
I think the mutual part in all of this was our father. Like, our dad really instilled his love for the entertainment industry into us with everything that we do.
So like we grew up, like I remember growing up, 5 years old, I was practicing I Believe I Can Fly with my dad with a microphone in my hand over and over again, learned all the lyrics and waited for my mom to come home so I can put on a whole recital for her. Of just me singing that song multiple times. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that love that I had then, it still remains now. And it just stuck with me even like throughout trying to figure out what I wanted to do. We grew up doing musicals and writing music, and it was just therapeutic for us and also fun.
Yeah, I think our parents did a really good job at nurturing what they saw in us. Like, they saw that we really enjoyed these things and had a talent for it, that they made sure that they exposed us to all these different things that really, made our passion that much bigger. There was this, our dad always jokes how, he actually doesn't joke. So our dad always talked about how before we were even born, he wanted to start like a girls group. And that's pretty much how it kind of started. His passion for music went on to us. I ended up writing my first song in middle school. I was in a lot of plays. We were in this group called Kanakapila when we lived in Hawaii, and we would sing all over the island and at our school. And it was just this thing that was something that wasn't just a passion, but it kind of brought our family together too, like just music in general. And then eventually it ended up being just the entertainment industry. We found an interest in writing scripts and being an actress and producing, and that's where we kind of took that leap and went to Los Angeles Film School, and it took it even further. And it was a huge step because we didn't know where our career would go being in Los Angeles Film School, because, who knows what type of career would really come out of a film school. You kind of just have to bet on yourself and bet that you have this huge dream or you have this huge passion and it's going to go somewhere, because it's not like getting, it's not like majoring in science or majoring in math and like being a lawyer. It's just like the odds are really against you at times when you have a film degree. I think the school that we picked really made sure that we were set after school, which I think is why I am here today, why I am in the career that I am in today. So kudos to Los Angeles Film School. for really making sure that their alumni were okay and that we had a career path, because they really made sure that like we had the resources that we needed to get to the next step in life and
they still do.
Yeah,
too,
and they still do to this day.
Okay, we can go back to that, but I feel like we should go back to the beginning again. And what was like the number one thing you thought you would be when you grew up? Like as a child, when someone asked you, what are you going to be when you grow up? Like, what was your answer?
It would fluctuate between an artist, a musician, to an actress. I would always try to figure out the two. I always had this passion and talent for both of them, but I just never really knew what I liked more. So yeah.
I always knew that I wanted to be a singer. And like I said, performing at 5, my mom heard me sing at like 3. And then I always say, in my mom's womb, in our mom's womb, when I was in there, my dad was in the studio. So I was like, yeah, it's embedded in me. So I just really wanted to be a singer. Mm-hmm. But I guess another question I'll ask you too is, what did you think was the more realistic dream job that you could have? I don't know if I phrased that right, but people are like, oh, singer, actress, like, that's so far-fetched. Like, what would you want to be if you feel like a more concrete answer or like a more stable job?
I just feel like there really wasn't one for me. I didn't know what I was going to be after Los Angeles Film School.
Okay, really not talking about college. As a kid, like when people would ask you, because I have your answer for you, you would bring it up.
An OBGYN?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wanted to be an OBGYN, but like I never really took this, like, okay, growing up, I would say.
Yeah, because I was like, you were like, oh, I want to be a doctor.
Yeah, because I saw this movie called The Quintuplets. I think it was Quintuplets. It was on Disney Channel. And the girl that played Marnie on Halloween Town, she was also in it. But anyway,
I love that movie.
Anyway, I would watch that, and I would like wrestle with like, okay, I really like OBGYN and everything that has to do with like babies and like the delivery room, and like I just really enjoyed the medical field in that area. Yeah. And then I realized, oh, I don't know if I really like that as much as I like how she's acting in the movie. So I was like, it was kind of like in a world where I can imagine me being in the perfect career, I would play a medical doctor. I would act as a medical doctor somewhere. I've always wanted to do that.
Be on Grey's Anatomy.
Something like that. Like, I just love that whole thing. But the concrete answer I would give was OBGYN, but acting was something that I've had more of a passion of. I wish I could be a doctor. I could, if I were to go back, I probably, would have been like, hey, I'll try this path out, but yeah.
For me, it was, I wanted to be a pediatrician. Mm-hmm. Or at first I was like, ooh, I want to be a NICU, like, nurse.
Yeah, I remember that.
Or I think I took the path of pediatrician, and I was like, oh, the doctor's too hard, so nurse. Even nursing is hard. I found out, I was like, okay, no. But I was like, I always watched the TLC, what is the, like, having a baby, like, documentary show that they would have about mothers who would have babies. What is it called? Labor and delivery? I don't know what it's called.
I know what you're talking about.
But there was this, and I think it still comes on. I don't watch TLC anymore, but that was like, okay. And then watching Grey's Anatomy, I was like, okay.
What if people don't even know what the TLC channel is?
Oh my God. Isn't it Tender Loving Care? Is that really what I always thought it was, that's what it stood for, but is it not?
Yeah.
Because I thought someone else told me it was like something else, like something channel. I was like, what? It's not Tender Loving Care? I don't know, but the TLC channel. It was
Tender Loving Care.
Yeah, but that's like some good shows on there, some good reality shows on there. But like that was, I guess, sparked my love for like, oh, I love kids anyways, like, oh, to be a NICU nurse. And then also before that, like as a kid, when I was like, oh, I want to be a singer, I was like, ooh, I want to be a vet. I love horses. I love jogs. Like,
I remember the first horse I saw. I was so scared, but I didn't show it. I was really good at playing it off. It was middle school, and I was at my friend's ranch or whatever, and she was all like, have you, like, seen a horse before? I'm like, yeah, I've seen a horse before. Like, duh. I go up to that horse. I'm like, okay. You know? It's bigger when you're small and you're in middle school and you're, you know, it's a little scary to see a big horse like that. They're big. Like, their head is
when
big.
You only see dogs
That's
and
a
cats,
thing.
and
like,
now you see a horse, yeah.
I'm not afraid anymore, but back then I was really trying to play it off like I wasn't, like, scared or startled a little bit. But horses are bigger than you think if you haven't seen it before. But, you know, when you're small, I'm saying. Not today.
But they are still they are big. Horses are big.
But they're gentle giants is what I've come to realize. Back then it was, like, overwhelming at first. But yeah. I feel like we got that our love for children from Mom. Mom really loves children.
Yeah.
Like, our mother did foster care for a very long time, and she just had this passion for children. And I think that's where we really got, like, that other side from, as far as wanting to do something involving with children. But then you realize that, like, pediatric care and, like, OBGYN, you're really dealing with the parents. You're not even dealing with the children.
But then that's why I was like, oh, you are. But yeah, you are mainly dealing with parents. When I read that, because, like, going to college, I was like, okay, I'm going to study this. And then I was like, dang.
Yeah,
people were in the comments like, you're mainly going to have to deal with the parents, and they're going to have a lot of questions. They're going to have, like, attitude towards you sometimes. And I was like, dang. But they're like,
especially as a nurse. Like, as a doctor, maybe not so much. Kind of, like, in and out. But with, like, a nurse, you really have to, like, be there around.
But not really, because when you call for Kai, aren't you mainly talking to your doctor?
No.
You're talking to a nurse?
Whenever,
I know this is TV shows and stuff, but whenever someone is like, oh, I just got home, you know, from having my baby, and I have all these questions, like, you know, I'm breastfeeding, why isn't he, like, latching on, all those, like, concerns, they're like, okay, I'm going to call the doctor. When they call the doctor, specifically, I have an episode of Friends in my head when she first had her baby, Emma, and she calls the doctor 1,000 times. Do you think she was calling? Do you really call the doctor, or do you actually just speak to the nurse or the PA? Or I don't know.
I feel like you speak to, like, a physician assistant.
You never speak to a doctor?
You eventually speak to a doctor, but if you have an emergency at night, unless you're, like, maybe if it's, like, a private practice, or, like, you the homie, or you got a whole bunch of money, there is no way that doctor is just going to pick up your call and like that. Yeah. Like, she ain't got a million other patients. I know when I was, like, going through my pregnancy and I had questions, I had to reach out on this app called My Chart that basically has, like, all, you know, the information on it or whatever. Yeah. And you send a message to your doctor, but that really is sent to her assistant and then sent it to her doctor. And whenever the doctor is free to answer, she'll answer, or her assistant will, or tell you when the doctor is free. So there isn't a straight communication.
But you think that's how it is now? And, like, back then, when, like, in that Friends episode with Jennifer Aniston, when she was calling
Not to mention Bill Cosby, but the same thing happened
I was
on that show,
I know I was going to say the same thing. He would always be the answer. I mean, because technically, labor and delivery, like, he was the gynecologist, so...
But I know, but I don't understand how they made the direct line to a patient. It's always like an assistant. I think it was just different there.
I think he still had assistants too, but yeah, maybe all this is just show related. But anyways, okay, back to careers. We went to we were homeschooled for, you said, most of your high school, which technically, yeah, I forget that every single time. But I was homeschooled for my last 2 years of high school. And then we graduated early, didn't really skip, but, like, combined it by being homeschooled, 2 grades into one, overload. But we ended up going to a community college, a junior college, then studied there, not really knowing. I don't know. What did you want to do when you went to college? Did you know right away?
I just knew I wanted to do acting. I knew I did. I was in theater classes.
Even at that point, you were like, okay, I'm going to college. I don't want to do any of this. Or were you studying? I don't remember. I don't know why I don't remember.
I was taking classes. I was taking my general ed classes for college, but I was also I knew I wanted to be in the BFA program, so I knew I had to take some gen eds for that. Okay. But yeah, I took my general ed classes along with theater classes, so I knew that that's something that I wanted to do, and I loved it. Yeah. And it was like the best.
So your path was like, it made more sense because we went from junior college into a university. A Christian university. A private university. Yeah. A private Christian university.
All of that.
Here in California. And, okay, so when I went into junior college, I didn't know what the hell I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to take gen ed. But I also, like, dabbled in electives. Mm-hmm. So, like, I did a music, like the history of jazz and blues. And I did an acting course, like theater course. Then we were in Pippin together. We did a musical together. Mm-hmm. But I was mainly ahead in math. So like I took pre-cal. I
sucked at math.
What else did I take?
Freaking sucked at it.
Algebra or something. I don't know what I took, but I liked calculus and I liked algebra.
I'm more reading, writing. I'm not a mathematician at all. That. Math.
But we did all of like our gen ed there. And then when we went into the university, my goal at that point was like, I just want to take gen ed. When I first went in, I was like, okay, I want to be a music major. Or was it a bio major first? I think I went in wanting to be a bio major. But then I got accepted into the university choir and orchestra. And I was like, I think I want to change to music. And then I changed back to biology because I was like, music, I'm not going to go anywhere. I had no
idea all of this was happening.
Mm-hmm. I was like, hey, I'm not, music.
I had no idea this all was happening.
with my parents in my ears, like, okay, are you sure you want to go to school for music? And like, that becomes a big deal. Like, a lot of people studying music at that time, they were also telling me, like, they were hearing the same thing from their parents. Like, when you graduate college, you're not going to make any money. Like, why are you choosing this path? Choose something that's more realistic and that will give you a stable income once you graduate. So I went back to biology. Then I was like, you know what? I could do this. I could be a pediatrician. I think it makes more sense. I could still do my, acting and singing on the side. Like, it's totally fine. I could do this. I could not do both. I was in choir and biology, and I was like, I got to drop out of choir. I had to drop out of choir. Like, by spring semester, I was like, I can't do it. So, after that, I was like, I can't do biology 2 or chemistry 2. And I wasn't doing well. So I went back to music. This is terrible. I switched so many times. And I was only there for like 2 years. I switched back to music. And then I was like, okay, I'm doing good in that class. My teacher's calling me a musician. I was like, okay, I love this. Doing the recitals, getting A+, performances, getting A+, piano. I'm like, yes, I've always wanted to learn piano. Like, I'm so happy. And then it came to like business law. I failed. I was like, what? I know everything. I think I was just overwhelmed. Going out partying too many times. It's like, I don't know what it was. Then someone told me that I may have dyslexia when it comes to reading music and like hearing music. I'm like, I have a good ear. What do you mean? But she was like, yeah, I hated this though. And I think this is what tore me. Practical musicianship in the music major was so hard. I made it up to practical musicianship 3. And when I was doing it, taking my test, one-on-one with my teacher, and she said, I think you are a little dyslexic when it comes to music. And our dad is dyslexic. So I was like, okay, so maybe it transferred to me when it comes to music. Like, I don't know. But whenever she would play the piano and whenever she played notes going up the scale, I would say they were going down the scale. And whenever they were going down the scale, I would say they were going up. So I was like, damn, this is crazy.
That's interesting.
So then I just left. We left the school. We said, you know what? Forget this school. This isn't for us. We're going to chase our dreams and be actors.
Yeah.
I got my SAG card already. I was like, you're going to get your SAG card. Let's just move to LA and let's do this.
We ended up living in a place downtown, bro. The worst place you could live. First time in LA. But
in
we
Koreatown. In K-Town.
Downtown in a little studio apartment. And we were honestly just doing extra work to pay the bills. Mm-hmm. We were doing extra work. It was fun, though, because we really enjoyed being behind the scenes and looking at everything. So it was fun for us to go out there and see what it's like. I feel like the best skills that you can have is our life skills, our real experiences. And I think that we did that when we moved out.
Yeah, like being
when we moved out
set.
of the dorm. Yeah. But honestly, we formed so many amazing friendships. I would never regret my time at that university because we really made lasting friendships, and I could really say that they're like my best friends today. Mm-hmm. So I don't regret being at Azusa Pacific University. Little shout out, go Cougars. I don't regret that at all, but I think it was the right move for us to just be like, let's just take our career all the way. We're young, why wait? And
I just turned 21 when we got there.
Yeah.
So
it was a move that was scary. It was really scary. But I told myself, look, if I don't make it, if nothing comes out of this, I'm joining the military. So
we both said that.
I was all like, okay, Air Force. I was so close to getting into the Air Force to the point where I almost had my shipping date or whatever, where they take you to basic training.
Yeah, because I was really
close. Yeah. But I don't know how Los Angeles Film School happened. I think we were kind of like at our wits' end at this little studio apartment, and it was just getting too expensive for no reason. When
we were there, like that was when I was juggling 3 jobs. I always say I was working at Tender Greens, which I met some of my closest friends there too. And then I worked at a restaurant as a hostess, which was like 30 minutes away. Like we lived in K-Town, but I had to travel 30 minutes that way to go work at Tender Greens and then go straight after working there to go work across town, 30 minutes out to go work at a restaurant as a hostess, Macaroni Grill to be exact. And then I was doing extra work as well.
Oh yeah.
So like it was like
I remember you were at the Macaroni Grill.
Yeah. I remember crying to my friend one time going to work. I was like, this is just so much. Like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Like, can I keep it up?
Yeah, that was a wake-up call. I think that's why we're all like,
and then
our parents were like, let's just go back to school. But go to a film school.
Yeah. But then, like, also while doing that, I was going to school for accounting. I was like, okay, I'm going to do accounting now. Because I had already taken classes at APU to be an accountant. Yes. I guess after that, we had a wake-up call. And I actually got a lot of the advertisements from the music part of the Los Angeles Film School.
Is that how it happened?
Well, I saw it on my phone. And I was like, dang, this is interesting. And I think I told Dad. But then Dad ended up going. Because remember, he started going to the school before we did. So he was going to get his degree in film or in business.
This was like in 2016, I think. Yeah.
2017, 18. Because we moved there in 2017.
Yeah, 2016 was APU.
Yeah.
2017
we moved to downtown.
And then 2018 was Los Angeles
when we
Film
joined.
School.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So 2017, we were like, we can't do this. Our parents ended up moving to Burbank after they lived on base in Fort Irwin. So we were like, okay, we're just going to live with them in Burbank. And our dad was already going to the film school to study business. And he got his degree, graduated. And we were like, okay, let's just
do that.
Go to film school. I was like, okay. I mean, I never really thought about film. To be honest, it was always music for me.
Yeah, it was always music for me too, and I was kind of upset with my dad because he was all like, "Their music business is over saturated, and you need to be in something where there's a whole bunch of jobs, right? The only other thing where there's a whole bunch of jobs is the film industry. Music, yeah, there is.
Not really.
Like, after seeing some, like, I've seen some job careers in the music industry that you wouldn't think. That you wouldn't think of.
The music industry needs the film industry too. Music videos, like, you're gonna need an editor, you're gonna need a sound engineer, you're gonna need, you know.
You have a point.
Either way, I feel like there's just more jobs in the film industry.
Yeah, I can see that. There is.
I
can see that.
The music industry.
Even mentioning sound design is kind of like, okay, if you were to do sound design, you would get a degree in film, not music.
You got Foley, you so many jobs with just sound design.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
There's a bigger umbrella under film rather than music. But, so I was like, at the time, I was really upset with my dad because he was really pushing me into the film industry, and I really loved music. I was all like, I tried the film, I tried the acting, I don't want to do that. Let's just try music now. But I'm so glad that my dad was all like, look, the film industry is where it's at. Trust me, trust me, trust me. And I'm looking at all my friends who, I'm not even going to say that. But he was like, trust me, trust me, trust me. And you know what? I'm glad that I did, because eventually, like, we already had our credits from APU.
Mm-hmm. Junior college.
Yeah, we already had those credits. So it only took us 2 years to graduate at Los Angeles Film School. And then I ended up graduating with a Bachelor's of Science in Film Production with a concentration in producing.
Insane.
And yeah. And after that, 2020 happened. And then 2020 is actually when I graduated and didn't even get to walk. Okay? Still to this day, guys, I don't even have a graduation photo with like a cap and a gown and anything. I just have my degree. That's all I have.
But you didn't get your cap and gown?
I don't know. I probably did, but I don't remember. I didn't take any pictures with it. I didn't do anything. It was just like whatever to me. But now I kind of regret it. Like, I have pictures. No pictures, like capping out pictures with flowers or anything.
I didn't take pictures. I took a TikTok. I was like, look, y'all gonna know I graduated.
I took pictures of you. I remember. Yeah. You have pictures with flowers.
Oh, yeah, you did. Yeah. Why didn't you?
I don't know.
No, we have pictures of you.
No, you don't. There are no pictures of me.
We did the whole thing, too. We had the setup of you being... I'm fine with this.
I think you have the video of the Zoom graduation ceremony. I don't think
you wanted to take pictures.
It's like a Zoom graduation ceremony.
I had like flowers there that our parents sent us. Like, it was during...
It was so sad.
This was during the pandemic, right?
Yes. It was in 2020.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was like... I think I was set to graduate in 2020, but I had a graduation in 2021. And in that time is when you would just see your name pop up on the screen.
Our graduation was online on a Zoom.
It said KENDRA Bryant. Like,
Ooh, and it had
everybody on Zoom. Whoa! I'm like, this is not the same. It was horrible.
We did a whole Facebook invite for everybody
to
watch.
But anyway, I ended up getting an internship after I graduated, thanks to the alumni help at Los Angeles Film School.
Rachel, the queen.
Mm-hmm. After that, things kind of shifted for me. I guess, should we keep going?
Why not? Like,
okay.
For you, you started off as an intern. You started off with your internship.
Yeah.
And then
I graduated, got an internship at Disney for the film Rescue Rangers.
What was your internship for?
My internship was for the art department. I had to send in a resume, a cover letter, and they accepted me. I think it was like their first time that Disney was doing an internship situation. So
probably because of after the pandemic, they were like, let's just try to help.
And I learned a lot. Like, I thought it was really fun. I was like in my little Nissan Murano, delivering stuff to the crew in the art department. And it was fun to see their houses. It was fun to see all the storyboards that they would do. And I would even like get to be on set and see how they like design the whole thing, and like went into the production designer's office and saw his whole setup. And it's just amazing. And especially because it was for an animation film, like a CGI or like a live action film. Yeah, live action film. So it was really cool to see how they incorporate that animation with real people and how they have to like dimensions with everything and knowing the style of each character. It's just so much that goes into it, but it was really fun to see the process of it all.
It was so cool because I would like not really hear in on your meetings, but you'd be like, I'm in a meeting. And I would like go in to use the bathroom and come out and be like, it's so
interesting. It was so interesting and so fun. Like, I really enjoyed that internship. And I basically made it known what I wanted out of the internship. I knew the art department was not something that I wanted to do. My focus was producing, so I wanted to be a producer. And I let people know that. Like, I'm like, well, what is the best, like, when I was on set, I asked around and said, hey, like, I'm trying to be a producer. Like, what do you think is the best route?
They're like, girl, this is the art department. What you got?
I didn't ask them. You'd be in the copy room, and you're like, I'm a little something. By the way, no, but
that's good. You were bold enough to like do that too.
Yeah, like I asked around, and like some people would say you should try. There's a lot of routes. There really is. There are a lot of routes that you can take. But one that resonated with me was location managing. I was like, okay, I think I can do that. Like locations, you know, I love being around. I hate being in one place. So this is something that I can definitely do. And, you know, I ended up contacting the location manager. He didn't answer me the first time. So I was like, okay, he's busy. What day am I supposed to email him? You know, because it's like weekends are his weekends. And Friday, maybe Friday's best because it's like a weekday, but not too crazy because the weekend's coming up.
I heard Mondays and Tuesdays are best.
Really? I honestly don't remember when I actually did it. But whenever I did it, he still didn't respond. And then I ended up just voicing the fact that, hey, like, is there any way I can get in contact with the location manager? Like when I would do my runs on set, like taking stuff to the production designer, I would kind of ask like, hey, like who's in charge of like the locations? And I would like try to figure out where I could physically see them. So that way I could like, cause I know how busy they are. So you kind of have to catch them. And so I was trying my best to try to catch them. And eventually, after running into the location manager's assistant, she kind of directed me towards the right path and what I should say. But yeah, I ended up meeting him in the copy room. And it was so weird because...
How'd you know it was him?
Exactly.
Oh.
So let me tell you, I was in the copy room and he said something like, oh, these freaking things always get jammed or whatever. I'm like, yeah, it's crazy, yeah. He's like, what's your name? I was like, it's Kendra. I said, nice to meet you. That's the location manager. He was like, you've been trying to email me, right? I said, yeah, oh my God, yes. Okay. And then I was like...
How did he know? Because you said...
Because I guess my name is just like...
Wow, so he like saw
it, but didn't like... And maybe he heard about me from his assistant too. Like, hey, there's this girl named Kendra who's trying to like get in, yada, yada.
Wow.
So I'm like, oh my God. I was so embarrassed that like I didn't even realize
he was like, bro, you been hitting me up.
Right. Because I'm used to seeing his name on paper, not said out loud. So it was I didn't put two and two together, but he was really nice, and he said, you're Kendra, okay. And then we started talking. He was like, yeah, just send me this, like such and such, like talked a lot about you, and sure, let's see and yada yada. Eventually on my last day of my internship, I asked the art department supervisor or coordinator at the time, who was my supervisor, I asked her if I could shadow the location manager at the end of my internship. And she agreed. And then I asked the location manager if I could shadow him, and he agreed. And that's exactly what I did. And after that, he ended up bringing me on to his next show and got me into the union, got my days that way, and learned a lot from that, and ended up working on like 5 more things. And yeah, I can honestly say I love what I do. It
and you got crazy. Nominated?
Yeah, I got nominated for a Cola Award. I would really enjoy producing, though, and I would really enjoy, I don't know, seeing what else, what other career path that the film industry has for me. Just because I don't like to be boxed in one thing. So I don't know. I'm hoping to build on this, and I'm hoping this is just the beginning.
For me, how things started after graduating, Rachel reached out to me, and she was like, we were actually going to community college, like, right after again.
Were we?
Yeah. And we were studying
Glendale?
I was studying to get, in Glendale. I was studying to get my music certificate because I was like, look, I still want to do music. So I was studying to get my music certificate, but then Rachel from Los Angeles Film School reached out to me and was like, hey, do you want to submit? She didn't even say, do you want to? She was like, girl, you about to do this, okay? You about to submit for the Academy Gold.
That's why I love her. Like, she don't play. She don't play.
And she called me. I will never forget that. I was at college trying to get my books and my keyboard to study piano. And she called me. I was in the parking lot. She was like, hey, I've been trying to reach you. I was like, hi. She was like, there's this opportunity. Did you get my emails? And I was like, oh, what? And so she was like, yes, talk to me. Let's talk tomorrow. And then we scheduled a meeting to talk. And she went over on how to help me with my resume, how to submit my essays for the Academy Gold program. Got it into good shape. Sent it in. And got an interview. She was like, hey, just so you know, they want to interview you on this date. And I was like, what? It actually worked? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. What? And so I had
There's only a select few. It's crazy.
Yeah, there's a select few for the ones that just recently graduated that year. And so when I went in for my interview, you have to choose a track. So I chose the track of editing. I've been editing since middle school. So like editing home videos, editing our music videos as we were trying to be like K-Gals Are Us too cute on
let
YouTube.
Me tell you, editing is hard and meticulous. You really have to have some type of patience for that.
We did editing for our reality show, Being Nikki and Naya, and like pitching that to the On channel, to the executive producer, to the CEO of that company, and got our show on that. So I was like, okay, so I know how to edit, and then, why not? And actually before that, I had my internship with the On channel, and that's how, right. We were able to pitch to the CEO. But yeah, I started editing there, and I was like, okay, editing is just what I'm going to be doing. And like, I'm totally, excited about this opportunity. So I went and did my interview and did really well. So well that one of the people that I interviewed with, love her to death. And she called me. She was like, no, she emailed me, and she was like, hey, no, she called me. She called me and left a voicemail, and I was like, who is this? Like, what's happening? I couldn't really understand what was going on. So on the voicemail, she said, hey, KEIYANA, I just wanted to say that we loved your interview, and we have this really big opportunity for you to intern with Google. And that's all I heard. And like, I was like, did I really hear Google?
Is this real?
Like, Google? Nah, I probably heard that wrong. So I gave her a call back. And then she said, yeah, it's with Google Creative Lab Studios. And I was like, she really said Google. I would have never imagined a day. I said I wanted to be a singer when I grew up. She said, I have an opportunity to intern with Google. Okay, so during this time, a whole bunch of is going down with the family. And so, like, with this on top of it, I was just feeling mixed emotions at the time. So nothing was really clear to me on what was going on, to be honest. It was very hazy. But I ended up having an interview with one of the senior producers with Google Creative Lab Studios. And she told me, hey, yada, 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 we have an internship, blah, blah, blah. We're interested in you, yada, yada, yada. Then I had a second interview with her and another executive producer, another senior producer and editor. And they were like, you know what? we don't want to offer you an internship. We just want to offer you pretty much the job. They wanted me to work with them as a video editor and as a production coordinator. So I was juggling 2 roles. And that's kind of how I got my foot in the door on how to be an editor in advertising. So if it wasn't for working with Google Creative Lab Studios for 10 months, I would have never had the opportunities that I have today of freelancing as an editor, and got a Clio Award last year for one of our commercials that we did with Dick's Sporting Goods. And I just honestly am like really grateful for the Los Angeles Film School, really grateful for Rachel, because during that time when she called me, I was at my lowest, at one of my lowest. That entire process was just my lowest. And like to see that, for me to take it on a deeper level, for me to see that God can really send people in your life to like show up and to help you, like, sorry.
Oh my gosh. It's okay. It's a grateful heart. These are happy tears.
Yeah. I didn't know what I was going to do because I was only doing stand-in work and extra work to pay the bills and going to school, like I said, to get my music certificate. And I didn't know what I was going to do with
everything.
I didn't know what was possible after graduating Los Angeles Film School. So I just love Rachel because she called me, like, and that was literally the month that our grandfather passed away. So for her to call and like push me, and I always said, like, Grandpa, like, are you watching over me? And like he was my angel who got me through the like interview process and everything. So but yeah. All that to say, I love what I do. Yeah. And I'm extremely grateful for it. And yeah.
Yeah. I think that being in this industry isn't easy, but we had really amazing guiding lights who saw the potential in us from the beginning. Yeah. Whether that was our father, whether that was advisors, or just mentors like Rachel. Like, she's really...
and Mom, too.
Yeah, and just our parents, the way that they support us and all of our crazy ideas and dreams is really what got us this far in the industry that we're in. And it's one of those industries that you can't really get in until you just stumble upon it. Like, some people really get lucky, and I feel like we really got lucky. Yeah. We got lucky because of the people that were in our life and our passion for it and our hustle for it, and got us not settling for anything less than what we wanted. And we got to where we wanted to go and have so many more things that we want to do. To create on our own, and to have our names on it, and to have our business name on it. So again, this is just the beginning of our career, and like, I can't wait. 20s, so. I cannot wait to just start a legacy in this industry, so that, you know, our name can really mean something.
And like what you're saying, like, totally agree with you. That I do at times. I'm like, yeah, we are really lucky. Like, we got lucky. But also we worked our asses off. So I want to give us credit too, because we worked our asses off.
I didn't know that after the BFA program, I didn't know what I was going to do, what I was going to be. Like, I was ready to join the military, for God's sake. Like, I didn't know. But it was just that tenacity that we had, and we had each other too. It was some hard times where we were just like, is this realistic? Like, let's just be realistic. What are we doing with our life? Like, come on. Yeah. But when you have these teachers at LA Film School really showing you what it's about as far as intellectually, and what it's about creatively, and what it's about in an entrepreneur way, like,
and how it is to like form those connections.
Yeah, and what it is to be in a team environment, because that's really what this industry is through and through. They show you the bad side, the good side, the ugly side, the beautiful side, and it's it's something that I'll always cherish because it's just helped me tremendously in my career. But if I could give any advice to anybody, school is great, but nothing is better than real life experience. When you're out there and you're doing the job, when you get that real life experience, nothing can compare to that, because you put your skills, your passion, your everything to the test, and you're surrounded by people who are in a cutthroat industry and, you know, will tell you like it is. They don't sugarcoat anything, and in school they sugarcoat. But, you know, in the real world, though, those real life experiences will teach you a lot about yourself and teach you a lot about the industry that you have a passion for. So, if I could give any advice to someone younger than me hoping to be in the industry, or just my younger self, I would just say keep having those life experiences in the industry. Keep making those connections, because they usually lead to something. As long as you don't give up and your passion is bigger than your drive for money, you're in this industry, your passion just has to be bigger than that. I mean, I'm really blessed to have the career that I have, and I am so happy that I do.
Yeah, I think it helps also with forming those connections and like making sure that you have someone that can like be your mentor or your friend that can understand what you're going through, because I don't really have anyone in this industry that could really understand besides you. Who can relate. So it's great to have that understanding with someone else. But yeah, I think we definitely came a long way. There's obviously like a lot more that we could talk about with our careers, but I feel like this sums it up pretty well.
In a nutshell, our careers is something that we cherish because we worked so hard to get here. And I don't think I would have ever even gotten as far as I did without the support of my family and my sister. So, Well, I mean, this concludes this episode about our careers. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I know that there were probably some questions that came up about, like, what we do and how we do it and how we got there. So I hope this clears it up for you guys.
And if you have any more questions, feel free to comment below, and then we'll answer them either in the comments or with another podcast video.
We'll see you guys next time.